everybody, so here is this project. I've gotten some more done on it. I've gotten pretty much straight line across right here. From pretty much the straight line straight across. Gotten some more on that one done too. I've gotten 3 rows done over here, which is pretty much all this area right up in here. Anyway, I'm still having difficulty trying to figure out how to record myself working on my Heaven and Earth design. Just mainly because, like I've said in previous videos, it's not easy to do that on one hand, with just one hand. Oh, gracious. I apologize, folks. My thread is being a pain. But that's part of the problem with working with as many threads as I am with such a small needle. I have had questions on this project about how many threads I am using. And to answer those questions, let me get my thread brought back up here. I'm using anywhere from 1 thread to 5 threads. This specific color that I'm working on right here, this is, I don't know if you can see the individual strands there. 5 threads there. This greenish color in here was 5 threads also, I believe. Some of this pink in here was 2 to 4 threads. All of this white and light pink and right through here, this is all 2 threads. This dark here is 2, dark green here is 2 threads. All the actual X stitching like this right here, let's see if I can get it focused in here. Like the dark green and the light pink, this is all 2 threads. All of the half stitches are normally anywhere from 2 to 5 threads. All the X's are always 2 threads. But then I also have, like right here around the back stitching for the lettering. Right up here at the top, this really light stuff, which there's some right below it that's the same color. It's just, I did 4 threads with one, and then right in here there's 1 thread that's all half stitch, which, let me tell you right now, that is a pain in the butt because the thread likes to break way too easily. That's one of the few reasons I absolutely hate working with only 1 thread. However, my next Heaven and Earth design that I do that's going to be on 28 count, 25 count or higher, it's going to be 1 thread, and I'm just going to have to figure out how to make sure that, yeah, my thread doesn't break super easily, which I'm not sure how I'm going to do yet. But in answer to your, I hope that answers your question. It does depend on the color, it does depend on the design. But yeah, this project is anywhere from 1 to 5 threads. Most of the background stitching is 5 threads, which is kind of surprising. You'd figure the foreground stuff would be more, but apparently not. But yeah. This project here, I am finding that I actually enjoy working on it one-handed a lot better than using 2 hands, which is part of why I have been using this project to record my videos. I find it easier, especially with working with 5 threads next to another area that has 5 threads. I find it easier to not split threads doing it with 1 hand. Whereas with 2, I have a tendency to try to stitch way too quick. And as a result, I end up having a bad tendency of splitting threads. In which case you get some of these little more puckered areas over here, like right there, I split. I don't know if you can see. I did split a thread, but at the same time, with what this is, it doesn't really bother me because this is supposed to be bushes along the back road. So to me, those puckered areas like that kind of give it character, and it kind of makes it seem a little more like it would actually be leaves on a bush, since, you know, leaves aren't perfect. And I will wholeheartedly confess, I am not a perfect stitcher. I don't ever claim to be. My dad tries to brag and say that I am an excellent stitcher, and I will be the first to deny and say that I am nowhere near a perfect stitcher. I have seen some whose stitches look 1,000 times better than me. Like there's a lady that's doing 5-minute stitch videos on YouTube. I cannot remember her deal off the top of my head, but to me her stitches look 1,000 times better than mine. And yeah, my thread's not wanting to cooperate. I apologize. But yeah, I know my dad's probably a little bit biased with his comments. I mean, he thinks I'm better at stitching than him, but he's been stitching for a lot longer than I have. I've been stitching for about 15 years. He's been stitching for, I don't know, 30 years now, probably. Maybe a little bit less. I don't know. I'm not even sure who taught him. I'm thinking it's probably his mom, but I couldn't say for sure. So yeah. In a side note, I have a Facebook page in which I will add the link in a post in response to this deal. It's called Crochet Crafts, or JB's Crochet Crafts. Don't have, as far as the name, JB is my nickname from my mom. It's short for, yeah, Jelly Bean. Pretty much story behind that. I got annoyed of her calling me Jelly Bean when I was about 13, 14 years old because I thought it was a baby name. So she just shortened it to JB. So, yeah, that's kind of been the nickname I've had for years now. On another note, thank you absolutely wonderfully to all those who have subscribed or continuing to subscribe, and to all those who have made comments on my posts. I appreciate it. Especially to the works in progress and to my Heaven and Earth design. I am absolutely loving my Heaven and Earth design project. I want another one to do at the same time. I am also comforted to know that I am not the only one that likes to keep about 20 projects going at a time. For me, a lot of the reason I keep so many projects going is, like in the case of this one, I had to take a break. You see the same colors pretty much over and over and over again, and there's such, you know, there's areas that are super large, and I'm not one of those that finds it easy to, like, say, just stop here at this color, you know, just like maybe leave this straight absolutely hang, and then go work on another color or go work on a different area. To me, just seeing the same project over and over and over, it eventually wears on me. So I keep projects going so that it changes things up. I'm not constantly seeing the same pattern over and over and over again. So, like, especially with my Heaven and Earth design, it's really small holes. So when I get tired of basically tearing my hands up working on that one, because, yeah, I found out later on that 25 count even weave with 2 threads is a pain in the rear, but I'm already so far into it that I don't want to try to just cut my losses and do 28 count 1 thread. So I'm just basically going through it, and I mean, it's getting easier as it goes and as I learn more about it. But you know, you deal with small holes like that for a few hours, and yeah, you need a break, but you still want to stitch. So hence why I have multiple projects going. My dad will only keep 1 project going at a time, and he'll work on it till he finishes it. But my dad can also get one project finished a little bit faster than I can, mostly because I keep multiple projects going. But he only works on his, like, on his days off. If he's having to stay up to work nights, he'll usually work on it most of the night. or like when he gets home from work, if he's working days, he'll usually sit down and work on it for about an hour. He'll do one or two threads worth of stitching, which is where I usually get mine from. Usually if I sit down to work on a project, I will not stop with a thread hanging. Heaven and Earth Design is just different because since I've learned how to part threads, I use that method. But typically with my Heaven and Earth Design, I do one block, one square, one 10 by 10 gridded square at a time. And I won't stop until I finish it. Even if my back is starting to hurt, or even if I've, like in the case of that one, torn up my finger. That's actually from a mixture of thread rubbing across my finger and helping my husband install our new dishwasher. But in the case of like this one, I will completely either finish this area out, and if I have thread left over, I will wrap it as long as it's longer than about like that. If it's only that much, then I usually just put it to the trash. But aside from that, I usually finish out a thread before I stop working. Just because for me, I find it easier to do it that way than to try to start, stop. And especially with these where I don't grid it out and I just work in sections, usually from the center out. I find it easier to just do an entire thread instead of parking a thread and trying to figure out where I'm at and having to count and possibly risk messing up. And I'm sure you'll notice on this, all of this right here that's kind of done out is actually the color I am working on. Pretty much what I did is I went along the bottom, and all this area in here that's white is filled in by this color, and it just makes it so much easier for me to not have to count it out because I basically already counted it out once. And it pretty much makes it where I don't have to look at my pattern. I just sit here and pretty much stitch along. Makes things go a little bit faster. Can't do it with all areas, just with this area I can do it just because, as you can see, I mean, it is literally from, you know, I've got it back through here, and then it starts here and goes along all the way over to here. And I want to say there's some over here and a little bit throughout here, but I am not positive on that. No, there's only, this color is, there's only some over here on this edge. So, anyway, that is the progress on this one. Get my field focus back here. So, as I progress more, I will show some more videos. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. Bye.